Hey, this is Stephanie from All About Adoption. I want to talk about the ways to know that you have a good adoption attorney. Number one, a good adoption attorney will know the adoption laws and they'll also know the judges as well. It's really important to know the laws of the state that you're working within, and then also just the little uniqueness of each judge and knowing what the judges like and don't like. So for example, I know of a county here in the Kansas City area that if a family has any kind of past issues related to like a DUI and things like that, that you will not be able to file your adoption in that county based on a previous case that happened in that county that was related to alcohol. So just knowing an adoption attorney would know not to file your case in that county. So having an adoption attorney is so important when it comes to the adoption process. So an adoption attorney will know the federal laws that also, not only the state laws, but the federal laws that impact adoption as well. Two of those are the Indian Child Welfare Act and also what's called Interstate Compact, also commonly known as ICPC. The adoption attorneys will know the laws and they will know how to help you get through your adoption process while still keeping these laws in compliance. A good adoption attorney will know to tell you about the federal adoption tax credit. Currently, the federal tax credit for adoption is $14,000 plus, and a good adoption attorney will know to tell you that this tax credit is available. And here is the most important reason to know and to hire an adoption attorney specifically, is if you end up in a contested adoption, the adoption attorney will know what to do and will know how to handle this and will help you get through this challenging and difficult time. Also, a good adoption attorney will, for example, I had a case 18 plus years ago, and I was hired. It was not an agency adoption. I was hired as the adoption social worker to work with the mom and to prepare her social history. And when we got to court, the judge denied the family that she was wanting to place her child with. And if this woman had known, and had she hired an adoption attorney, they would have known that that particular judge in that county did not approve of placing with single women at that time. That was, of course, 18 years ago. So just knowing an adoption attorney will know the ins and outs of where you should file your adoption. What's allowed in adoption is what are called living expenses. That is when a mom is allowed to have assistance with rent and utilities and transportation back and forth to the doctor and different things like that while she's pregnant, and commonly up to 6 weeks after placement as well. But that's unique to each state. There's some states where living expenses are not allowed at all. There's some counties even here in the Kansas City area that only allow for $900 total. So it's important that you have an adoption attorney because they'll know the ins and outs of what is allowed legally and what is not allowed and how much when it comes to helping a mom with what are called living expenses. Also, you have a good adoption attorney when they do not represent both parties. As I've said in a previous video, that is a no-no. It is legally allowed, especially in Kansas, but that is not what I consider best practice. And therefore, a good adoption attorney will not represent both the expecting mom and the hopeful adoptive parents in their adoption process. So that rounds out my list of suggestions on making sure you have a good adoption attorney before you hire them. I hope you find this helpful. If there's any videos that you would like for me to record and there's a topic that you want me to talk about, please feel free to comment below in the comments. I'd be happy to take your suggestion into consideration for future videos. Thanks again. Bye.